I probably played this game... Actually, I don't know if I have ever learned that before my stream recently. Alright, we gotta shuffle some items around. So I want my boomerang down here, and we'll put the sticks over there. Okay. Alright, Ruto, we got a real weapon now. Everything in this dungeon is weak to boomerang. And also, a really cool feature of this dungeon is usually when the boomerang hits a wall, it bounces off harmlessly. And it kind of limits the use of the boomerang in general. I didn't mean to throw you there. I wanted to just set you on this button. Here, let's do this. Let's jump on the button. And then put your butt down. There we go. That'll work. But this dungeon has these soft, fleshy walls. And the boomerang just goes straight through them. So you can actually use the boomerang in every room of this dungeon without it ricocheting harmlessly off a wall. The problem with the boomerang, and one of the things maybe the only thing I don't absolutely adore about this game, is you have to play as Kid Link in some parts and Adult Link in other parts, and there's certain items on your subscreen that you can't use as Kid Link, and then there's other items that you can't use as Adult Link. And it really limits the value of some of your items. She's going to yell at me. Even though I needed her to hold that switch down, she yells at me anyway. The end result of that is the boomerang's usefulness is very limited, because you get it in this dungeon, and once we're done with this dungeon, the next plot thing to do is go become Adult Link, who can't use the boomerang. I don't know why they made that decision that Adult Link can't use the boomerang, but it is kind of unfortunate that such an iconic Zelda toy as the boomerang can't be used for the majority of the game. You get it very late in Kid Link's adventure, and then you can't use it at all in Adult Link's adventure. Too bad, you know. I guess they rectify that in Majora's Mask, where you play as Kid Link for the whole game and he can use all the equipment. In any event, we do need the boomerang for these big tentacle monsters here. There's a red one, a blue one, and a greenish-yellow one. And we must destroy them all. The boomerang is something that really got... I mean, it feels a little janky in Ocarina. It does feel like this is an item they weren't really sure how to make it work well in a 3D game. Because you kind of lock on, and then you throw the boomerang, so there's not really a sense of aiming with the boomerang. It does feel a little arbitrary in how it flies, and then if it misses its target for whatever reason, usually because it's out of range, right? Because you've got to the boomerang has to fly out and then fly back. It's not like the bow and arrow or whatever, or the slingshot, which just it can fly out and hit a target. It has to fly out and then fly back. In the 2D games, they modeled this by just having it straight out and then straight back. That would look really dumb in 3D. So they have it fly out in an arc and fly back. Well, okay, but if you have it flying in an arc, it has a limited range, and its effective range is kind of hard to tell sometimes. And of course, if you throw it, because you're in first-person mode, or as close to first-person as this game gets, I suppose. But yeah, if you throw it, and it is out of the effective range, now you're just kind of stuck there waiting for it to fly back. Maybe that's why they put it in a position in this game where it limits its usefulness. Because that way it kind of limits the amount of jank, you know, that the player would have to put up with. You know what I gotta put up with is Skull Tulas. I love them. And now that we have the boomerang, though, we can just grab these babies. So I guess that's one thing you could use the boomerang for, is to go back through the world and collect all the Skulltulas you weren't able to pick up on your first pass. I suppose you've got that going for you. But they really figured out how to make the boomerang good in later Zelda games. In Wind Waker and in Twilight Princess, the way it works in those games, instead of you having to lock on and then throw it, you push the boomerang button, and then it lets you select up to 5 targets, and your boomerang just magically zips out and hits all the target. It ricochets around like a pinball. It's really satisfying and really, it feels really good to use. So that was an improvement that got made to a classic Zelda item, which is beautiful. Because Ocarina does kind of feel like the odd man out, in that Link has this iconic boomerang, but it doesn't work real well in this particular... You know what? That's not true. Link's Awakening, you get a boomerang, but you get it at the very end of the game. And it's like super powerful, like it's more powerful than your sword. I want to hit this man in the butt. I want to butt him with my boomerang. Oh, that was a regular slash, not a jump slash, so he didn't take as much damage. I was a lot closer to him than I thought I was. Oh, nope, nope, nope. We need to roll against the grain of this platform, and we need to make sure we're not close to the platform. Otherwise, we get spiked-ed, and nobody wants to get spiked-ed. Actually, those kind of look like teeth to me. It kind of looks like this platform can take a bite out of me. Oh, I just got spiked-ed. I just got spiked-ed again. Yeah, see, like, I'm outside of the effective range of the boomerang there. He's getting farther and farther away. Oh, I don't want you to jump, Link. I want you to roll. I keep jumping to the side. Every time I jump to the side, I lose ground on him. Am I close enough now? Not quite. He's being a real dingus right now. Oh, come on. That was so close. We're going to do this, huh? Okay, let's get him to turn around. But he's going to start up again before we get over there. And you can't get around him either. He's too fat. He takes up the whole screen. The whole path there. That's got to be close enough. I can't get around him. No, I can't. And he just pushes me to the floor. Oh, but then he turns around. Maybe that's what we want to do here. I've never figured out a good way to fight this guy. It always goes like this. Oh, was that it? Oh, I guess only 3 hits. Okay. Probably for the best. Let's pick up these hearts before we jump on the big elevator platform and follow Ruto upstairs. What's in the pots? Another fairy. Interesting. Alright, we gotta find Ruto. Because like I said, she's adorable. Oh, really? Link. I'm sorry, T-Boz. Why would you not grab the side of... What are these? I don't even... Ugh, like... Weird electrified nerve endings? Oh, my boomerang might have still been out. I might not have caught my boomerang yet, and that's why he didn't catch the platform. I don't know. It's possible. Anything's possible. With the power of small wooden boxes. Like this one right here. I mentioned Master Quest, the hard mode of this game earlier. The reason I mentioned it, and then I promptly forgot about why I had mentioned it, was it makes the game harder, but it remixes all the puzzles and stuff in the game. So it changes a lot of the dungeon solutions. I've played through Master Quest once, I think, when I first got that GameCube disc. I prefer the vanilla version of Ocarina for my part, but I like the Master Quest version of this dungeon because Jabu Jabu's belly becomes filled with half-digested cows. Is a very fun sentence to say, I've decided. We just fought a boss. Let's fight another boss. Kind of a weirdly balanced dungeon, because you get the dungeon item first, before you get the map and compass. And by the time you get the map and compass, you've already explored most of the dungeon. Because most of the dungeon is in that weird, like, fork-shaped area in the north of this floor. Alright, so step one is we gotta sever him from Baronade here. We have to sever Baronade from the heart of Jabu Jabu. I'm assuming this is his heart. And now we've got to get our boomerang. This is phase 2. Now I've got to try to get it inside of this spinning, like, carnival ride of death here. And we'll take this opportunity to destroy all his little orbiting pieces. So now it should be real easy to get inside there. And now it should be effortless. Oh, he summoned more. That's not good. Okay, okay, okay. Navi, get in there. What are you waiting for? There we go. Maybe we want to leave one of them alive. Maybe that's the idea? Yeah, we just want to leave a gap there. There we go. Alright. If we leave one alive. Oh, he's still not ready to be sorted, though. We lose our lock on every time he goes from stunned to not stunned. There we go. Now we're in phase 3. We're no longer orbiting, but now he's going to shoot electric lasers at us. Which I don't mind, you know. I got my butter knife. It's all good. And every time you come up out the ground, buddy... Oh, he went outside my boomerang range. Sorry, Baronade. So I think that's the first boss fight with, like, multiple phases. I guess that's not true. The Queen Goma has a couple of different phases that she alternates between. But this boss actually has multiple phases that you have to fight through. I do wish it retained your lock-on when Baronade switches attack modes, when it goes from stunned to not stunned or back and forth. Because it's very disorienting when you're locked on, and the monster doesn't move. All the monster does is change from a stunned to a healthy state. Is all that has happened. But because you're locked on and holding the control stick, like, strafing around, once you lose the lock-on, Link just darts in that direction, which causes the camera to swing around. It's very disorienting. Can cause you to take some dumb hits. And again, I want to point out, yeah, I'm complaining about the camera in Ocarina of Time, but I complain about the camera in every 3D game ever made. So now we have to marry Princess Ruto, which is fine. I mean, whatever. Every girl child in this game wants to give me magical presents, and that's a good way to live life, I suppose. And we now have Zoras Sapphire, which is actually 3 sapphires. We have 3 Zoras Sapphires, all set into a very handsome gold casing. Now, unless my ears doth deceive me, there was a Skulltula up here. Why it didn't let us just stay on this log, I do not know. Oh, there he is, buddy. Oh, can I even get him from here, I wonder? Yeah, he's in boomerang range. Lovely. I could probably find another one if I went out. Like, there's probably one in that tree out there, perhaps, but how many do we... We've got 20, so we technically have all the Skulltulas that we're going to need to get the items that we want. I don't even remember what we get for 30. I can't recall. We are done in Zora's Domain. We need to take a ride down the river, and this is going to make it all worth it. Riding down the river is especially profitable, actually, because you just pick up random rupees. I guess the idea is that the Zoras... Which way am I going here? This way. Like, maybe the Zoras use the river as, like, their wishing pond. They throw rupees in the river to make wishes about fish, like fish wishes. Wishes about fishes. Anyway, if you come out of Zora's River and make a left, you go to an area where if you have the silver scale, you can dive down into the water, and it's a fast travel back to Kokiri Woods. So Zora's River, the Goron City, and Kokiri Woods are all linked together at that point. But I'm going to take all these rupees. We have max rupees for the time being. Say farewell to the Cuckoo and the Fat Man. We've got some errands we need to run, because there's something that most people do very early in the game, but I don't see a real point to doing until this point in the game. This game gets criticized a lot because of this map, Hyrule Field. Comes under fire for being... It's just a giant, empty, boring map. And you can't argue with that criticism. There's just not a lot going on in the Hyrule Field. If you play the game casually, if you're just learning it, if you're your first time through it, you're probably going to run back and forth across Hyrule Field 100 times. Because you can kind of see the structure of the map. You've got the main Hyrule Field, then all the actual interesting parts of the overworld link up around it at various angles. And that's valid criticism, and it's something that they address in the series to various degrees of, with various degrees of success. We're here in daytime. I want it to be night, actually. Because even though I have all of the Skulltulas I'm going to need to get the items that I want, I still want to kill Skulltulas. I can't help myself. There is one. There he is. Delectable. Navi. Here, let me give you a hand there. There you go. Thank you. Oh, I hit the wall. Yeah, unfortunately, the walls of the house in Lon Lon Ranch are not made of jello like the walls of Jabu Jabu's belly. We're going to take the long run around the ranch now. So the idea is they kind of expect you to come to Lon Lon Ranch after getting out of Hyrule Castle before going up Death Mountain. Because there's some just interesting story stuff you can do here. And you can pick up the couple of items that I'm about to pick up now. And you can learn another Ocarina song. So it actually does benefit you to come here in a casual run, because it's one more song that you can learn to play for the frogs on Zora's River, which translates into a bunch of money, which you can immediately turn around and invest in magic beans. God, this game is silly. Did you hear that sentence I just said about frogs and beans and whatnot? My goodness. Who doesn't love Ocarina of Time? So we need to push you out the way. And we need to pull you back a notch. Slip in the wall here, and there it is. Found the crawl space. I love the framing on this piece of heart. How you find the find the little crawl space, and then the camera zips down and it just frames the heart. And then it takes a few seconds to actually crawl over there, but it's like the anticipation of it. You get a moment to like lick your lips in anticipation of this piece of heart.
Shoutouts to Scott McIntosh, who sponsored this video, and to everybody who makes my channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.